Congressman Bob Goodlatte is a Republican from Virginia and the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, and he joins us now live from Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, with more on this latest unilateral action from the president. Chairman Goodlatte, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Doug. Good to be with you and your viewers.
Tell us what your reaction to this latest unilateral action by the president is.
Well, it's very concerning when you have a president of the United States that works as hard as he does to jam a law through the Congress, 2,500 pages long, 20,000 pages of regulations. It's not going the way he intended it, and instead of coming back to the Congress, which under our Constitution and separation of powers has the authority to make changes, and there's nothing in Obamacare that allows him to give these extensions, these delays, to waive the mandate for people who have not met certain criteria under the law. Many of these things are good. In fact, the House has twice passed, both last summer with regard to the employer mandate and this fall with regard to the, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it, when people found out they couldn't. We passed legislation in both instances to address those problems. The Senate ignored it, the President ignored it, and he's simply acting unilaterally, something that Obamacare does not give him the authority to do, and therefore you have to look to the Constitution for guidance. Senator Lee is absolutely correct. The Constitution provides that it is the Congress that legislates, not the President.
Mr. Chairman, nevertheless, Mr. Obama is not the only president to make these kind of unilateral actions, executive orders. In fact, on the spectrum of executive orders, he ranks fairly low. Previous presidents have made many, many more of them. What qualitatively makes this different?
Well, this is a massive new change for Americans in terms of the health care they're going to be provided. As you know, virtually every Republican in the House and Senate has voted to repeal Obamacare, but we also have worked to make changes in the law where it's necessary to do so, and we're willing to do that in these instances as well. The President simply doesn't have the authority to take these actions unilaterally. So we held a hearing on this. It's not just the health care area. It's lack of enforcement of our immigration laws, lack of enforcement of our drug laws, and some of our environmental laws are being enforced in ways that are not contemplated by the law. So we held a hearing. We had 4 constitutional scholars, 3 of whom voted for President Obama, by the way, and 2 of those 3 and 3 of the 4 total said that the president was exceeding his authority under the separation of powers doctrine, and that's why the separation of powers doctrine exists in the first place, to check against presidents taking these actions. So now we're going to hold a hearing here in the next couple of weeks on looking at new solutions that can be explored for how to hold the president accountable in these areas and make sure that the power of the Congress is not simply given away by people who say, yeah, we like what he's doing, therefore he can do it, we don't have to take action to do it.
Well, some have suggested one of those potential solutions is to file a suit against the president to stop this. Senator Mike Lee has said that that's not possible because you don't have damage done here. In fact, these businesses who've been affected by this executive action are getting a reprieve from taxes. So there's no technical damage done there. What's your perspective on that?
Well, that's a good point, because standing for whoever brings the lawsuit is the case. And in fact, the person who's aggrieved here would be the employer who has 100 employees. They're not getting the delay. The guy who has 99 employees gets a delay. So the guy with 100 would say, well, that's not fair. But of course, the guy with 100 is required by Obamacare to do what he's going to be required to do now. And so he may not have that standing. But there really should be a stronger look at these matters by our courts, and the court should take a more enlightened view of granting standing, particularly to the Congress itself. Historically, we've had a hard time. There have been a few instances we've brought suit against administrations, but the fact of the matter is we need to be looking at whether we can enhance the standing of the Congress itself to bring the courts in to arbitrate these decisions, which they have historically tried to avoid because of the political nature of them.
Mr. Chairman, we're out of time, so you're saying that a suit is within the realm of possibility. Real quick.
Well, we have to, that's what the purpose of the hearing is, to hear various testimony from constitutional scholars about what can be done, and then we'll decide moving forward what we should do.
Chairman Bob Goodlatte of the House Judiciary Committee, thank you very much, sir. Good to see you.